We just helped another 20-year-old buy their first house. Not this guy, that's actually me. But in this video, I'm going to tell you how we helped another guy in our mastermind who is 20 years old pull the trigger on their first house hack. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Alex Funk, and by age 24, I had invested in 8 doors of real estate. Some good deals, some bad deals, everything in between. In this video, I'm going to break down how we helped another 20-year-old get a house. Like I said, I'm also going to break down all 12 of the deals that our mastermind has gotten so far this year, including right now live. We are cooking up a few deals, including this very unique house, as you can see right here. And I'm going to be going through our biggest investing mistake. I'm going to tell you well, I wouldn't even call it a mistake, which is everything that went wrong to the point of us losing north of $100,000, maybe $200,000 altogether when it's all with the Lakehouse situation. So stay tuned for that. Super excited to tell those stories, learn from my mistakes, learn from the things that we could have maybe avoided. And I'm excited for this vlog. Subscribe to the channel, like this video. Here we go. John, where are we on the way to right now?
What's up, folks? We are on the way to Mystic Lake.
How much for the whole cart?
Slot dogs. You can put 2 in this one. More ketchup. All right, so back to my story. JFK, great friend of ours. We really wanted to get into the large Airbnb game. So we toured a bunch of houses that were for sale around the Twin Cities, and we didn't know how to buy them. So then we learned about Airbnb arbitrage. So then we called up JFK, amazing at sales. Shout out JFK if you see this. And we told him the scripts, told him what to do. The first day he was calling, this house was listed for sale by owner. He called, talked the guy into letting us rent it. Huge, amazing, unique house, but absolute shit show. I didn't know or care, so we just signed a lease basically as fast as possible. I showed up to this lake house after we already signed the lease, needed so much work. So then we had to put 30 grand and 7 days of hard work into it. All right, we are back from the MMA fight. That was unreal. Picking up where I left off on the story is, so we went in from like June 26th to July 3rd. So it was like 10 days. Over 20 people involved in this project when it was all said and done. And we got it done. Listed it on July 4th, got our first booking, and then July, it was listed halfway through the month. It wasn't even ideally optimized or anything, and we brought in just over $10,000 of bookings on a $6,500 rent, and just from the jump, it was like, this is gonna work. And we put $30-some thousand into the restoration project, which I would not recommend. And if you wanna get an Airbnb, let's talk about it, because this project is one I wouldn't do again, and really stayed consistent going into the entire fall. All right, so then we have this lake house, and it's cruising, it's getting bookings, it's booked the entire fall, but we start getting bad reviews. We start getting refund requests. And the thing about Airbnb is that what you're really playing is not a real estate game, you're playing a hospitality game. We added the lake house, then we added another Airbnb in September, we added another house in December, we added another Airbnb in December. So we added 4 doors. And then in the spring, we decided no more expansion, let's go all in on the lake house, let's fix all of our problems. So we reinvested another $20,000 into the lake house this spring. Because we did this, the results were amazing. Like, the house was beautiful, we fixed all the problems, and we were going into this summer with over $80,000 of bookings already on the calendar. All right, so we're about to walk into the gym. Oh, jinx, and get a workout in, but want to continue the story of the lake house. So, and I thought it was fitting to have Anna here for this part of the story. She doesn't know what part of the story I'm at. We put in another 15, 20K. This is middle of April. First guest is lined up for like April 28th. And we had $86,000 of bookings already on the summer calendar. Projected bookings would have been like 100K something. And one of my sales guys on my team, 20 years old, asked if he could stay at the house for 2 nights with his friends, just not even friends, roommates, before they all went home for the summer. And I said sure, because I trusted him. And first night they stayed, they hung out, I called, I was like, hey, how'd it go? Give me some feedback on the house. We have a ton of bookings coming up. We just put a ton of effort into the house. And he gave me some great ideas, like put out s'more stuff and whatever. And then the next night was a Monday night, a school night, and they threw a 200-person party. Cops came multiple times, college kids, all over the neighborhood, people smoking in the house, things getting damaged, like literally Project X. And long story short, the city pulled our license. We canceled all the bookings. We had to cancel all the bookings for the summer, so we lost all of that revenue. We lost the house because our lease was up a few months after that, and we were going to renew. We were actually going to buy the house on a seller finance deal, so we would have owned a $1.2 million lake house that was crushing on Airbnb, that we put a ton of effort into, and it was pretty much just gone. So then, Anna, what happened when we went to the city to try and fight for the license back? What happened to us?
We basically got beat up by an angry mob. We had no chance. As soon as that woman went up and gave her, here's what happened, and they started pulling up footage from 5 years ago, and the mayor stands up and says, I recognize a bunch of you that helped get me elected. I'm like, it's over. It's over.
It was like 30 neighborhood people against us, and there was nothing we could say.
And just to add, moms are our specialty. So I'm in there thinking, we've built our career on talking to soccer moms. This is going to be a breeze. And yeah, I've never been more hated by a group of 30 soccer moms like that. It was really hit me right here.
Anna was crying. I was crying. What happened after that? So we lose the house. We could really wrap the Lakehouse story right there, but really what that did to us was so we put our chips in the Lakehouse. It was the summer of the Lakehouse was going to pay off all of these other things, and gone. So I'm going to continue the story. We're going to go get a workout in, but stay tuned. All right. So the Lakehouse. 20-year-old kid, sales team on the football team at his college, ruins our lake house. We lose $100,000. He apologizes profusely, right? No, not at all. Didn't apologize one time. Didn't take ownership one time. So now we have to sue him. But I did say we lost $200,000, not $100,000. So how did that happen? Coco's going to be a part of this story as well. So we lose all the bookings, we lose the license. This is literally as we're about to buy the house, like I was saying. Long story short, we ended up buying into equity of the house for when it sells. As long as the house sells for like 1.2 or 1.25 million, we thought it would sell for like 1.5 million. So we buy into equity of the house essentially, and the house sat all summer. We were gonna get 12.5% of whatever it sold for, but it sat all summer. Nobody bought it, and the owner couldn't go any longer. So he just took a fire sale price of 1.10. So we don't get our 12.5%, which would have been 100K, pay back at least what we lost out on. We get our money back that we put in to buy into the equity of the house, but we don't get any of the upside. So that's where the 200K loss comes from. So that era is behind us, and we've been just rolling with the punches and on to the next. Good morning. It's Sunday. You know what that means. School. Went to church yesterday because we have a podcast guesting this morning. The Vikings are wearing throwbacks tonight. You can see purple all over in here as well. But next thing I want to talk about is something I just talked about on the podcast, which is we started our mastermind for a lot of reasons, which mostly is me trying to help the next level version of the person that I was already helping. So a lot of the last 4 or 5 years has been helping through this YouTube and through my job, helping people learn sales. Well, now my goal is to help people who are already selling, already making money, already stacking cash, or they're not stacking cash because they're not motivated, they're not inspired, they don't have a reason to sell. And I'm trying to give them a reason and help people get into the world of wealth building, buying houses, real estate, whatever. So in our group, we just had a 20-year-old buy their first house, and that makes 12 deals for the year. So what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to go through each of the 12 deals. Hopefully there's some takeaways that you can get from that and plug it into your own life and own situation. Let's start with deal number 1, Carson Thomas. Here we go. First DLA deal, he joined the group and we got on the path for him to get his first house hack. While we were on that path, his mom was going to potentially move out of her house or something along those lines. And I was basically like, dude, that's the perfect opportunity. You should get that for Airbnb. And so we actually did convince him to let his mom have him take over the house when she moved out instead of selling it or renting it to somebody else. That was the first DLA deal. It was literally within family taking a house that would have been rented to somebody else, and now he just pays his mom, rents it out on B&B, and that's literally what an Airbnb arbitrage is. That one is just really close to home. Literally was his home. The second deal, shout out Spencer, who's been on the channel a couple times lately. Second deal was his house hack in Lubbock, Texas, and pretty simple one there. Spencer wanted to buy a house, helped him do it. We found some good realtors. We built out his buy box based on his money situation. We found houses on the market that looked pretty good. Then we had his realtor send him a bunch on the MLS. We sorted them in order. He toured them based on information that we could see, information from his realtor and his tours. We picked the best one. He put an offer, boom, homeowner. The third one was actually our own. So literally the house I'm in front of right now, this was the third house that I'm counting as a house for the group. So me and Anna bought this house, and the goal was that we would buy this house on a cash out refinance from one of my other houses. 2 days before closing, it was a weekend, we were told we can't do the cash out refinance anymore. So we had to come up with the money for closing out of pocket, which was essentially our cash reserves, which were supposed to get us through the Airbnb slow season. And yeah, just completely kind of threw our plan for a loop. But hey, that's why you make plans, so that they cannot go to plan, so you can make new plans. Is that how it goes? I don't know. The next deal in our group, which was us getting, I was inspired by Carson's and thinking, who do I know close to my life that has a house that maybe we could take over? And then we took over one of my friend's houses. So he was looking to rent it or sell it. And we took it over, arbitraged a friend's house, the Wheeler house. And we did that for about 9 months, turned a profit on it. And that was our 8th door before we started shifting our focus to pouring into the Lakehouse. And we're not going to get into that again, but that was the next one. So that was 3 for the group within the first couple months. The 5th one was Mason's, pretty cool. Carson is in the group, Mason's in the group. Carson's a lender that he was using for his upcoming house hack, had a third house in Tampa right down the street from Mason. They ended up connecting. Instead of him having it sit on the market for sale with nobody buying it, Mason took it over, Airbnb. Johnny was number 6 in Calgary. He was trying to buy a house for a while. We talked about what made the most sense, found a house hack. It took, I think, 4 or 5 months, and he's been, I think, living for free or really close to it while building equity, and he's going to get a lot of tax benefits as well from that house. So that was deal number 6. Anna's on the phone, so I'm whispering. Number 7 was Carson and buying his house hack in Champaign, Illinois. Shout out Carson, getting a lot of airtime. Deal number 7 and 8 would be Devin and Kale, partnered Airbnb. Worked together, 16 sleeper, projected over 100K revenue. Neither could do it on their own. I'm counting it as 2 deals because it was 2 guys in the group. Deal number 10, Trenton Chalaha, house hack, 21 years old, living for free, $1,400 a month of cash flow. Number 11 was Blaine buying a current Airbnb from somebody else. It was already listed, it was already cash flowing, and he bought the deal from him, took it over, gonna invest another 10K, try to get it to the next tier. And number 12, Christian, 20 years old, first house hack, should be cash flowing around $600 a month, living there for free, our most recent deal. Now, I'm gonna break that one down just a little bit more. We have a few more deals in the pipeline. I feel really confident in our group right now, just some really great people that have deals that they have a soft yes on, that they're locking in. So I'm excited to hopefully update this video. Let me tell you more about Christian's deal as a 20-year-old and how you could do the same thing. All right, so what is a house hack? I think that's a good first important note to make in case you don't know. So a house hack is when you buy a house, live in it, rent out the rooms, and then use the renter's money to pay off the mortgage. But how Christian did this and how anybody else can do it as well, whether you're 20 years old or 25 or 30 or whatever, and why it's easier for a 20-year-old to do it, easier for a younger person to do it, is because the house that he bought has 6 bedrooms and 5 of them were already rented out. So what that means is when he bought this house, when he's buying this house, it's coming with renters, it's coming with cash flow. He's buying it and he's stepping into a $2,000 mortgage, but $3,000 of rent coming in. For example, I don't know the exact numbers on the house right now, but my point in saying this is it's easier for a younger person to do this because when you're younger, you don't have a wife, you don't have kids, you don't have whatever. And so there might be a willingness to live with roommates. There might be a willingness to let people, live in the same space as you. And you can build wealth so much faster by doing this. And I think once you get older, you start to think that you need more boundaries, and maybe you do, right? But that's just why it gets more difficult as you get older to do this kind of stuff. Anyway, shout out Christian, house number 12. Again, why any 20-year-old, why any of you can do this. It's just once you get older, it gets harder. So if you're younger and you're watching this, let's get in the game. Honestly, we are going to end the video right there. So follow me at Unlock with Alex. Hit me up at any point. Make sure that you watch this video if you want to see how I got to almost 10K a month of passive income by 25 years old. And watch this video if you want to see how we saved a sales rep $100,000 in a 45-minute masterclass. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.